Now I am going to start module 5 of chapter 10. This module is devoted to the study of Schrodinger's equation. The discussion on linear and nonlinear Schrodinger's equations is essential because these types of equations arise in many physical problems like quantum mechanics, fluid dynamics, nonlinear optics, plasma dynamics, etc. We shall first derive linear Schrodinger's equation and nonlinear Schrodinger's equation starting from a dispersion relation. Then we shall find the solitary wave solution of nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. Finally, we shall establish conservative laws for Schrodinger's equation. Now we are going to the first slide of this module. To derive one-dimensional linear Schrodinger's equation, we consider the Fourier representation of the quasi-monochromatic plane wave solution in the form phi equals to integration capital F, which is function of wave number k, into e to the power I kx minus omega t dk, where the function fk is the spectrum and is determined from the initial and boundary condition. And in this integral, omega represent the frequency and it is in general function of the wave number k. Now, for slowly modulated wave, most of the energy is confined in the neighborhood of some specific wave number, let us say at k equals to k0. So, the spectrum or the energy has a sharp peak around k0 with a narrow wave number of width delta k equals to k minus k0, and this delta k is very small and we are assuming that as order of epsilon. Now, the dispersion relation omega about k equals to k0 can be written using Taylor series expansion as omega at k equals to omega at k0 plus delta k into d omega dk at k equals to k0 plus delta k square by 2 d2 omega dk square at k equals to k0 plus dot dot. So, here omega 0 is equal to omega at k0, omega 0 dashed equals to omega dashed k0, that is d omega dk at k equals to k0, and omega 0 double dash represent d2 omega dk square at k equals to k0. Now, substituting the dispersion relation from 2 to the equation 1, we obtain phi as equal to psi into e to the power I k0 x minus omega 0 t plus Cc. Cc stands for complex conjugate and the function psi xt is the complex amplitude of the solution and is defined as psi equals to integration 0 to infinity f k0 plus delta k e to the power I x minus omega 0 dash t delta k minus half I omega 0 double dash delta k square into t into d of delta k. Here we have taken the term up to order delta k square, and in this relation we also assume that omega as the odd function of k, that means omega at minus k equals to minus of omega k. If we see the expression for psi which is written in equation number 4, it depends on x minus omega 0 dash t into delta k and delta k square into t, where delta k is of order epsilon. Therefore, psi can be considered as slowly varying function of x minus omega 0 dash t and t. Now, we assume or define the slowly varying quantity as xi equals to epsilon into x minus omega 0 dash t and tau equals to epsilon square t. Then the wave field assumes the form phi equals to a, which is function of the slow variables xi and tau into e to the power I k0 x minus omega 0 t plus its complex conjugate, where the modulated wave amplitude A is defined or given by A equals to integration f k0 plus delta k e to the power I x minus omega 0 dash t delta k minus half I omega 0 double dash delta k square t into d of delta k. Now, writing this expression in terms of xi and tau, A becomes A equals to integration of capital F e to the power I xi minus half omega 0 double dash tau d epsilon. Now, in this expression, in the expression 6, k0 is considered as constant, therefore, omega 0 is considered as constant, which is function of k0. Now, we compute del A del tau, variation of A with respect to the slow variable tau can be computed from the expression of A, which is given in equation number 7. So, from 7 we can easily find del A del tau equals to minus half I omega 0 double dash A and del 2A del xi square equals to minus A. Now, from these two equations, if we eliminate A, we get the non-linear Schrodinger's equation I del A del tau plus half omega 0 double dash del 2A del xi square equals to 0, which is given by equation number 9. So, in this way, starting from the wave form, starting from the Fourier solution, Fourier representation of the wave solution, we can arrive to the linear Schrodinger's equation. Now, we want to derive the nonlinear Schrodinger's equation starting from the dispersion relation. Suppose the linear dispersion relation is given by d k omega 0 equals to 0, where k is the wave number, omega is the frequency and 0 stands for there is no any nonlinear term, nonlinearity is 0. Now, in this linear dispersion relation, we replace k by k minus I del del x, omega by omega plus I del del t, and we incorporated a nonlinear term mod A square in the dispersion relation. So, the dispersion relation given by equation number 10. Now, we expand this relation about minus I del del x, I del del t and mod A square. We are assuming that the nonlinearity is weak. So, the slow variation of amplitude can be written as this. So, in the previous, from the previous expression or from equation 10, if we expand it in Taylor series expansion, we obtain the equation which is written in 11. Now, if we see the first term, this is nothing but the dispersion relation for the linear equation or the linear dispersion relation. So, the first term becomes 0. Now, we introduce new variables x star, t star such that x star equals to x minus Cg into t and t star equals to t, where Cg equals to minus d omega by dk, and we assuming the slow variation of the amplitude A, that means A is of order epsilon. We also assuming that del del x star is of order epsilon and del del t star is of order epsilon square. Thus, in terms of epsilon or retaining the terms up to order of epsilon square, we get from equation 11 the relation I del A del t plus P del 2A del x square plus Q mod A square A equals to 0, where the parameters P and Q are defined as given in equation 13. The equation 12 is known as nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. If you observe this equation, you can see the nonlinear term is present here, which is mod A square into A. Now, so in this way we can derive nonlinear Schrodinger's equation starting from the dispersion relation. Now, we want to solve the nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. So, to solve nonlinear Schrodinger's equation, we take the standard form of the equation which is written in 14. We are interested to find the solitary wave solution. That is why we have taken the solution in the form psi equals to fx e to the power I mx minus nt, where capital X equals to small x minus u capital U into t, where capital U represent the wave speed and m and n are some constants. So, we assuming this type of solution which is written in 15, we substitute it to equation 14 and obtain a ordinary differential equation in f, which is written in the first line of this slide, where f double dash represents derivative of f with respect to capital X 2 times and f dash is the derivative with respect to capital X once. Now, to eliminate f dash, we assume small m in such a way that the coefficient of f dash becomes 0. So, we assume 2m minus u equals to 0 and we take alpha as m square minus n, and we are interested to find the real f. So, for real solution, mod f is equals to simply f. So, the above equation reduces to the form f double dash minus alpha f plus gamma f cube equals to 0. Now, we want to integrate that equation, since we want to find the expression for small f. So, for that purpose we multiply the equation with 2 f dash and then we integrate. After integration we get f dash square equals to a plus alpha f square minus gamma by 2 f to the power 4, where capital A is the integrating constant. Let the expression in the right hand side of equation 16 is function of small f and that function is capital F, say. So, capital F is a biquadratic expression in small f. So, it can be factorized into two factor in f square. So, let capital F equals to alpha 1 minus alpha 2 f square into beta 1 minus beta 2 f square, where the constants alpha i's and beta i's are to be determined from the equations alpha equals to minus alpha 1 beta 2 plus alpha 2 beta 1 and capital A equals to alpha 1 beta 1 and gamma equals to minus 2 alpha 2 beta 2. And we are also assuming that these alpha i's and beta i's are real and distinct. Therefore, we can write the equation 16 as df dx equals to square root of alpha 1 minus alpha 2 f square into beta 1 minus beta 2 f square. Now, we separate the variables f and x and obtain the value of capital X as integration 0 to f df by square root of, which is written in the slide. Now, assuming alpha 2 by alpha 1 to the power half into f as our new variable u. So, in terms of the new variable u, the above integral becomes sigma x equals to integration 0 to u du by square root 1 minus u square into 1 minus kappa square u square, where the new constant kappa and sigma are given by which you can see in the last line of this slide. Now, this integral is a famous integral and it is an elliptic integral of first kind, and we can find the value of this integral in terms of the elliptic function, Jacobian function. So, the solution can be expressed in terms of Jacobian sine function. So, u equals to sine of sigma x kappa. Therefore, the solution f x. So, what is f x? If you see the middle line here, f is equals to alpha 1 by alpha 2 to the power half into u. So, using that we can obtain the value of f x as alpha 1 by alpha 2 to the power half into this is the value of u. So, this is our required solution. In particular, if the value of the integrating constant a equals to 0. So, if we come back to the general solution which is written in equation number 16. So, in particular if the value of the integrating constant a is 0, then for alpha greater than 0 and gamma greater than 0, 16 gives square root alpha x equals to integration 0 to f df by f into 1 minus gamma by 2 alpha f square to the power half. Now, to compute this integral, the natural substitution is gamma by 2 alpha to the power half into f equals to sec h theta, and substituting this we can find the value of the integral exactly. So, f x becomes 2 alpha by gamma to the power half sec hyperbolic square root alpha small x minus capital U t. Now, these represent a solitary wave which propagates without change of shape with constant velocity u. So, if you observe the solution, so it represents the wave moves with constant velocity u, and it is to be noted that the solitary waves exist only for unstable case, when that means when gamma is greater than 0. And one interesting feature is that the amplitude and the velocity of the wave are independent. Here velocity is u, which is a constant quantity, but it does not depend on the amplitude of the wave. whereas in case of KdV equation, the speed depends on the amplitude of the wave. So, this is the basic difference between the solution of KdV equation and the nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. Now, I want to derive nonlinear Schrodinger's equation for deep water waves problem, starting from the dispersion relation. The deep water waves problem, for deep water waves problem, the dispersion relation is given by this, which is written in equation number 20. So, from this relation we can find the value of omega 0 dashed, omega 0 double dashed and gamma, which is written in equation number 21. Now, substituting these values in the amplitude equation, we can get the nonlinear Schrodinger's equation for deep water waves problem becomes this, which is written in equation 22. Now, if we think about that frame which is moving with linear group velocity omega 0 dashed, in that frame equation 22 reduces to the form which is written in equation 23. So, for this case the coefficient of del A del x becomes 0. So, here we again obtain a nonlinear Schrodinger's equation starting for deep water waves starting from the dispersion relation. Now, we want to solve this equation. Mainly we are interested to find the solitary wave solution of the previous equation, that means of equation 23. So, for that we assume the solution in the form amplitude A equals to Gx into e to the power I gamma square t, where capital X is small x minus omega 0 dash t. So, substituting 24 into 23, we get an equation in G which is written in 25. Now, we want to solve this problem, that means we want to find the value of G. So, for that we multiply this equation by 2 dg dx and then integrate, and we obtain equation 26. If we see the right hand side of this equation, that means the value of dg dx whole square which is given here, we write the right hand side as 2 factors g0 square minus g0 into g square minus m dash square g0 square, where g0 to the power 4 m dash square is the integrating constant, and if we write this expression as 2 factors, then comparing the coefficients we can get the relation between the parameters as 2 k0 to the power 4 equals to 1, and we assuming m dash square as 1 minus m square. So, it gives the value of g0 square as 4 gamma square by omega 0 k0 square into m square minus 2. Now, if we go back to equation 26, we take the square root of this equation. So, that gives dg dx equals to square root of g0 square minus g square into g square minus m dash square into g0 square. Then we separate the variables g and x, and we obtain the relation which is written in the third or the last line of this slide. Now, the variables g and x are separated, so we can integrate it. So, after integration we get g0 into x minus x0 equals to integration ds by 1 minus s square into s square minus m dash square to the power half, where S is equals to G by G0, and this is the value of this integral can be written in terms of the Jacobi function. So, the value of the integral is dn g0 x minus x0 into m, where m is the modulus of the Jacobi dn function. So, in this way we can write the solution of the nonlinear Schrodinger's equation for deep water wave problem. In 1972, Zakharov and Sabat proved that nonlinear Schrodinger's equations has infinite number of conservation laws. These are in the form of integral with respect to x of the polynomials in psi and its derivatives. In this section, I am going to establish two conservative laws. Now, we are going to the slide presentation. To prove the conservation properties, we multiply the standard nonlinear Schrodinger's equation, which is given by equation number 14, by psi bar and its complex conjugate by psi, and then subtracting we obtain I ddt of psi bar plus ddx of psi x psi bar minus psi x bar psi equals to 0. Now, integrating with respect to x both sides, we get I ddt of integration mod psi square dx equals to 0, where mod psi equals to psi into psi bar. So, this gives integration of mod psi square dx equals to constant C1. So, this is one of the integral of nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. To find the another integral, we multiply equation 14 again by psi x bar and its complex conjugate by psi x, and then adding we get equation number 28. Now, we differentiate the standard nonlinear Schrodinger's equation, that means equation number 14, and the equation for its complex conjugate with respect to x. Then we multiply the former equation by psi bar and the equation for complex conjugate by psi, and then we add these two equations, and this leads to the equation which is written in 29. Now, subtracting 29 from 28, we get I ddt of psi bar psi x minus psi into psi x bar after simplification equals to ddx of psi bar psi xx plus psi into psi bar xx plus gamma ddx of mod psi to the power 4. Now, we integrate both sides with respect to x in the whole real axis to obtain I into ddt of integration psi bar psi x minus psi x bar dx equals to 0. That means the quantity integration of psi x bar minus psi bar psi x dx remain constant, and let that constant is C2. In the similar way, we can prove that the quantity integration mod psi x square minus gamma by 2 mod psi to the power 4 dx also remain constant. The derivation of this integral is available in our e-text. So, we get three integral of motion C1, C2, C3, and they are related to the number of particles, momentum and the energy of the system governed by the nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. So, in this way we can obtain other integrals of this equation. Thus, in module 5 of chapter 10, we have discussed about nonlinear Schrodinger's equation. In this equation, we have considered the effect of dispersion and nonlinearity. The joint effect of above two phenomena lead to a solitary wave which moves with uniform velocity. In this case, the amplitude and the velocity are independent parameters. In contrast to KdV equation, the amplitude and the velocity are not independent. Velocity depends on the amplitude of the wave. Thus, we end this module. At the same time, we are ending the entire course partial differential equation.